So the topic that you're gonna work today is something that I like a lot. I'm excited about the next 2-3 weeks that you're gonna stick with this. The last 2 weeks you focus on how to start the match in a good position, right in the beginning, how to get a position that you're already attacking the person, and that's what you're gonna continue working. But you're gonna focus more on the 2-on-1 grip, okay? Xavier, come over here, please. So I'm gonna show you guys 3 ways to guys get the 2-on-1. Okay, the 2-on-1 is going to be this grip here. You have done this before to work takedowns, but you're going to focus on guard pulls, okay, and how to pull guard with this grip and what you do when you get this control, okay? You're going to work the 2-on-1 in the standing position in the ground situation, and you're going to work as well, sir. You're going to work as well with the cross grip in the sleeve and the pants control. That's what we're going to be studying, okay, in the next few weeks, okay? So today is going to be more like an intro. All right, and then from there, you're gonna work it based on this, okay? So how are you gonna set up those grips in standing position? The first one is gonna be with classic grips. When you have a classic grips, so Xavier has collar on me, I have a collar on him, I have a triceps and he has triceps on me, and you are in this position that it's kind of like a neutral, I cannot make anything happen, right? Look, all the opportunities that you guys already saw. So maybe you see the hips very far away from you, you see the arms is stiff and you cannot get under. Like you feel it's not perfect time to get underneath the person, okay? When I see that and I cannot progress, I try to progress and I cannot progress, I start to focus on the grip that I have in the triceps, I grab right in the sleeve, okay? The side that he has my triceps, I grab right in the sleeve, just like so, okay? And I find a spider grip. When I get here, I let it go the grip that I have in the collar, I start to block my elbow, I use my elbow, and I step back to break this grip. As soon as I break this grip, I start to cross and I find the 2-on-1. I'm gonna find the grip in the triceps. You guys saw this before to a takedowns, okay? So the people who was here during that time, you work a lot of takedowns with this grip. Okay, I have a sumigaeshi here. I have inside trips, I have a Ouchigari, I have a Kochigari, I have a Kosoto here, I have many options of taking the person down with those grips, okay? But very often when you get this control against good guys, the person knows you need to have the head position closed to work takedowns. A very common reaction you guys are gonna have in Jiu-Jitsu is the person make a grip on the collar and they're gonna start to square up with you guys. So now because the hip is very far away, it's very difficult to take the person down, okay? So make sure when the person finds that grip in you today, so jump inside. So I find my grip, I'm gonna break, and I'm gonna get a 2-on-1. When I start to get close to him, he's gonna start to push me away, and he's gonna stay away like so. When I see this distance and I have the 2-on-1, the same side that I have the sleeve, I'm gonna step on his hips. Okay, I'm gonna do a little step forward, and I'm gonna start to step on his hips, just like this. You look how the arm is already across, okay, in a very good position, okay? If Xavier has a grip on my collar, I can break with my foot on his shoulder. So when I go with the foot on the shoulder, I go and I put a weight down first. And now I start to extend it, not just with my leg. I extend with my hips. Okay, this is very important. I don't want to overextend it. So I put a weight down first, and then I break with my hips. Just like this. Now can you start to go and lock a triangle. Okay, you're going to work just a triangle, just to start to warm up doing that, okay? So very important detail here, stay in melhor postura, melhor postura. Cash, come over here. Você tá com dor, né? So, when I get a triangle here, so look, I break the grip. When I get a triangle, I want to make sure the grip that I have in the triceps, I go straight to the head, because probably here he's going to try to stack me, and I want to control his posture down, okay? So now, very important detail, that's something that I saw a lot this week in the competition. If I overextend myself in the triangle, I give him a chance to either step over my head, like this, and I might end up in a very bad angle, okay? So maybe even if I lock the triangle, look, I lock. If he catches a step over, I can end up in this very bad angle, okay? Or maybe he can sit down and cross both legs over me because my knee is very away from my chest, okay? What I want you guys to focus on is this, look, when you lock the triangle, so either gonna have the head control. Okay, from the kids that you cannot hug the head, I want you guys to grab your chin, start to stack. And when a person starts to stack, when you create an angle towards the side, underhook the leg, and try to maintain your knees close to your chest. Because more you overextending, easy becoming to the person pass the leg over. Okay, you want to have your knees close to your chest. Okay, in order to have a good finish, okay? So the first setup, you go here, okay? The side he has the tricep, I grab the sleeve, and I break it and I go, okay? The second one, Cash is gonna find his grip on the collar. I'm gonna grab already on the sleeve across, and I'm gonna break with a grip in the wrist. I apply pressure towards him, and I break. When I break, I go to the 2-on-1. He's grabbing my collar, he starts to frame on me. So he's going all the way like this. Look, I have the grip, but it's hard to get my hips inside because his grip is on my collar. Okay, and his hips is away. I step and I step on the hips. Okay, this time if I try to go over, he starts to block with his elbow. I go under with my knee, and again, I not break, just push with my leg. I use my hips, look, and I break that grip. Okay, if it's Cash grab my pants, I'm gonna have to break in space. Okay, I elevate my hips and I break in space. Okay, he's grab my pants, I break in space, look. All right, so now the grip that I have in the triceps, I'm gonna hug the head to don't let him posture up. I'm gonna create the perfect angle that I need in the triangle outside, and I'm gonna try to maintain my knees close to my chest, and then I have a strong finish. I wanna see your guys' knees close to the chest, okay? In the last setup, I'm gonna offer him my forearm, and when he find the grip, I break. Okay? So that's the one that you guys work in the Sumiga-ish when I was working in takedowns, okay? I offer him the sleeve, I find the grip across, and I break. I go to the 2-on-1, he start to frame. I wanna see this grip in the collar always, okay guys? Okay? So don't let the person's hips get close. If Cash doesn't have this grip, look how I can start to get close to him. I can start to go around him. That's not good for him, okay? So he needs to find a frame. He find a frame, I step on the hip with the same side, and now I can start to work. Either here, here, if he's holding my pants, more close to his shoulder. But I'm gonna have to break this grip that he has. Okay? So when you guys step on the hips, try to stay strong, and then work it towards the triangle. Okay? You're gonna work the triangle just as a warm-up. So I go here, I start to find the grip either on my shin or on the head. When he starts to stack me, I go under, I create a perfect angle, and I try to maintain my knees close to my chest. Okay? So focus on that every time that you have a triangle, guys. I saw a lot in the competition. People with good triangles, but they start to overextending, that make it easier to start to defending. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, when you get a triangle, you wanna have your knees close to your chest, because that way it's hard to the person posture up, it's hard to the person pass legs over, and start stacking you. Keep that in mind. Okay. So just one more time. The first one I go here, and I break. I go 2-on-1. The second one he's grab my collar. I grab it right across. I break. I go 2-on-1. The third one I offer my forearm. I find my bigger grip. I break, and then I get it. Okay. So you're always going to step the same side that you have the arm, right? Not the opposite side where the person can catch your leg. Okay. I always go same side. In an angle, in extend, look how I'm pulling. And look how I pull the arm to my pocket. I'm not pulling the arm to my collar. I'm pulling the arm to my pocket. Okay? You guys have any questions? Let's warm up doing that. Vai, 1, 2. Let's go. So guys, it's important for us to understand, every time that we pull guard, step in the person's hips, there is always a chance to the person intercept the pull. Okay? So let's say if Cash starts to pull with his right foot on my hip, there's always a chance to push his leg down and he starts attacking my pass right away. Okay? Every time your foot go to the hips, there's a chance to the person intercept. You guys need to know that. That's why, so let's say if he's go left foot on the hip, I can always intercept with the grip on either on his ankle or on his pants, and I can start to passing right away. There's always a chance to the person intercept when the foot go to the hips. That's why when you teach guard pulls, usually you teach either fast pull, when you reach, and then when you go, the legs are already high. It's difficult to the person catch your leg. Okay? So it's very difficult to the person intercept my pull. If I have a good distance here and I reach, and now when I go, it's hard to him catch my legs. Okay? Or when you pull more tight, you always go to the waist, passing the waist. Because if I pass in the waist, it's always going to be between my legs. It's very difficult to intercept. Okay? So either with the 2-on-1, with the 2-on-1 is a little bit harder because the hands are crossed, very hard to pass. Even if you do intercept any pass, If I maintain the grip, it's very hard to him stabilize the pass because he doesn't have upper body control. So even if he's running behind me, go behind. Look, I can start to defending as long as I don't let it go to grip. Okay, but it's a risk when you do. You guys need to be aware of, okay? So if you start to implement this technique, of course it's going to be hard to the person to intercept because you have the cross. But if the person does intercept and he starts to walk around you, don't let it go to the sleeve. That's going to be the position that is good, the grip that is going to give you guys the guard rotation. Okay, to retain the guard and keep it a good position. Okay? But even better, if you guys can pull the way how you pull, passing the waist. And that's what we're going to do now, okay? So now, I want you guys, whatever side that you have the sleeve, you guys going to step forward, standing step on the hip. You guys going to pass the hip. And the person's going to be between your legs. Okay? You see how it's less distance? Probably in this position, Cash is going to try to place his right knee inside to start to create separation between me and him to start to posture up. I maintain the 2-on-1 until I have a control about his leg. So it can be lazy de la riva or it can be full de la riva. When I find the leg, I'm going to grab the pants and now I'm going to have a sleeve and pants. Few details that is very important here. You're going to do a little active now, okay, with some sort of resistance on top. When you guys find the grip, I want to see the grip right away in the pocket, across. Has to be always across. Cannot be in the same side. Okay, to be effective, has to be across. And I want you guys try to bring your thigh on top of the grip. So why? If my hands is hanging here, if his catch starts to posture up, look how much posture he, look how my hands are hanging here now. Now look, if my thigh is on top, when it's try, it's very, very difficult. Okay, I want you guys to try to do that. And the other thing that I want you guys to focus on, don't maintain your hips heavy on the floor like this, look. Try to maintain your lower back a little bit off the floor, a little bit more sideways. Look how my lower back is a little bit active. I'm not heavy like this on the floor. Because let's say, if he catch disengage, and I'm like this, if he do a leg drag here, he can start to get on my side. But if my hips is a little bit high like this, it's difficult. Look, when he's walk away, he bring my weight with him. So very, very difficult, okay? So how's going to be the exercise? You guys going to get here. You guys going to get a good grip. And you're going to tell your partner to move around, okay? And I want you guys try to move around, okay? Try to do whatever. And I want you guys try to find off balance. You guys don't need to do anything specific, but I want you guys move your partner around. Try to off balance your partner with the grip that you have. Try to have a feeling of the position. Doesn't matter what you do. Okay, in the same time that you're holding the grips, it's not just about holding and stay still. I want you guys move your partner around. Okay, the person on top of a sort of a resistance, not much, but I want you guys move around and try to see. And I want to see if you guys have questions after. Okay, I want to study the position. Okay, I want to study the situation. Yeah, like you just keep tight. Yeah. So you guys gonna be moving. Try to, if you guys can pull your arm back, if you guys can bring your hands to the same side collar. Let me go. If you guys keep the grip. If you guys can bring the hands to the same side. If you can bring your hands to the leg. Okay. So move around. Give you a little bit of resistance. And try to feel what you would do if you're on top. That's what I want. Okay. Think about like, all right, I end up here in the fight. What I would do if I'm on top. Okay. And the person on bottom. You guys gonna do what you always do in the guard. You're gonna make the person move. Okay. You're not gonna be just holding the guy. You're gonna be moving my partner. Remember the rules. Hands always across. Try to maintain the hands across in the pocket. Okay, back and forth, move around like a 30 seconds, something like that, and switch bottom top. Does that make sense? You guys gonna say again or get it? Get it? Bye, 1, 2. So when you hook the leg, you cannot hook it right here between, only if you wanna get a single leg X entry. If you wanna just off balance, you hook it on the knee. And when you open the person's leg, you bring your head to the same side. So if you just try to use your leg and not your hips and not your upper body, it's going to be very difficult to off balance. So now if I just try to use my leg, he might place his inside and now I'm in bad spot. Okay, when I place, let's say I get here and I'm off balance him that way. I try to kick the leg, I can't. When I hook his knee, I move my entire body, look. Okay, so do not just use the leg, try to use your hips and use your entire body. One good detail here is try to bring your head close to the leg. That help a lot in the off balance. Okay? Anything else? Questions? Questions from here? Yes? Oh, yeah. Usually, like, think about all the directions you can off balance. Maybe if Hikashi give me space to step on his hips, I can off balance him backwards with a simple tripod, like this. If he doesn't give much space here, I can step on his back leg. I sit up on my elbow and I bring him to the other side. Okay? I can always start to push him back, sit up, and now I can step on his belly and I off balance him towards the opposite direction, like this. I can use that hook that I was explaining buggy. So maybe I try to push his back leg, I can. He's strong here on the base. I hook his back leg and off balance him this way. Now I can start to bring him over with the hook inside. Okay? So think about, when you talk about off balance, you need to know how to off balance the person in any given direction. To make the person move, and then you're gonna start to catch up position while the person moves. Okay? So the question I was expecting is what I do if the person grab my collar. Because it's gonna have a times that the person's gonna start to posture up, you're gonna try to stop the hands going up, and the person's gonna find a grip in the collar. Now what happened? Now my cross grip is not strong as well. Okay, why? Because to the cross grip be strong, has to be on my pocket. So here he's exposed, very hard to him pass my guard. Okay, but when he's grab my collar, it's kind of difficult here. Okay, if he start to get a very good grip here, what I do? If I can, I bring my leg up, I step on his shoulder, and again, guys, look how my hips go up, and I break this grip, not just kicking with my leg. Because if you just kick with my leg, look what's gonna happen. I'm gonna push him far away, and now if he catch and drag my leg, he can pass my guard. Okay? So if I have to step, look, I rise my hips up, and I break with my hips, look. I use my entire body here, look. And now I cross again. Okay? So the other question, let's say if Hikashi close his elbow, maybe you're not flexible enough, you cannot go here. The person's doing a good job here. What do? Bring your knee on the biceps, and now pinch your knees together, like this. And now I break. Like this. If Hikashi start to go posture high, if I have to bring my thigh inside you like this, I don't know if you guys notice, but your foot is a little vulnerable here. So give it the person a chance to step over the leg. But if the person step over the leg now, it's easier to off balance over, look. Because it doesn't have a grip on my leg. It's easy to off balance. Okay? The other thing that is important that might happen in this position, if you guys start to play with this, the person shelf the leg, and you start to get nice and tall, and you guys gonna feel stuck in this position. If you guys see like this, it's time to start to go in deep de la riva. So use the shin that you have across, and you start to rise your hips up, and you start to go deep de la riva. That's great to go deep de la riva as well. Okay? And based on what I explained to you guys right now, what I want you guys to do, same exercise, but you guys need to find a single leg X. Same thing from last week. Okay, I want you guys to start here. You guys don't need to start standing, start here. You guys are gonna off balance your partner, and you guys are gonna try to get a single leg X. Doesn't matter how long it take, and I wanna see different entries. Okay, when you get here, switch bottom top. With the person on top, you give a little bit of resistance. Okay, try to cause problems to the person solve. So sometimes try to posture up, sometimes try to grab in the person's collar, sometimes try to step over the leg. So give it some problem to the person solve, to the bottom person, okay? You guys know how it is, guys. Like, doing drills, everything look good. When the person starts to give resistance, everything look bad. So start to implement with a little bit of resistance, because when you go to the sparring, it's gonna feel similar. Okay? You guys get it? Find a single leg X now, okay, from there. 1, 2. I don't wanna have my hips flat on the floor and be kind of like spread open like this, because it's easy to the person move around. I wanna have my hips a little bit off the floor, my lower back especially, because when he starts to move around, he's carrying my weight. Okay, it's the way that I put a weight on him. If I stay flat on the floor like this, a little push he does, he starts to manipulate my leg, twice to the side. But if my hips is a little bit off the floor, I'm more mobile here. Okay, when he starts to move around, he carries my weight, because my hips is off the floor. Okay, so you don't need to play the entire time with your thigh on top of the hands. because this is gonna make your movements slow. Because how are you gonna use this leg, how are you gonna use my right leg if my knee is on top here? But every time that I see Cash try to posture up to break my grip, that's when I break. That's when I bring my leg. He should try to stop his elbow retract all the way. Because if he's get here, he's probably gonna break the grip. Okay, if I wanna maintain the hands across, when he's trying to go, I go here. That makes sense? And then I can start to manipulate him. Because in the end of the day, I wanna create attacks. I don't wanna just hold him, right? I wanna get a good control, but I wanna create attacks. The other question that I have a lot that was a very smart question, Cash was the first one to ask, and this will happen if you play with this guard. So if he shelf my leg and he starts to posture up, if I see this, it's going to be very hard to pull back. So what I do, I sit up on my elbow and I start to go into the 2-on-1 again, because now I have two strong grips on the arm. Okay, so now I can pull him back. If I can pull him back, great. I can maintain the 2-on-1 and work the 2-on-1 to start to get a single leg, for example. Okay, or I can start to use the De La Riva to extend him. I push him where he wanna be, like a far away from me, and now I bring him back. And now I can grab the pins again. Okay? But trust me, guys, like if you guys start to play with this grip, like in the collar, you always have this problem when you play in the collar, right? So the person breaks the grip, and then you start to reach in front grip, right? Then the person starts to attack you when you have the grip in the collar, like from here. You always have that problem, right? But if you start to hold his sleeves, it's way harder to the person attacking you, especially across, because the center line is exposed. His back's exposed. You need to be aware about his back the entire time. Okay? So a simple off balance I do on him here, look, his back's exposed. I can start to come up and torse him. Okay? So in the situation sparring today, I want you guys to give it a try, even if you get past. Okay? I want you guys to think about, like, all right, I want to implement this on my game. So try. Okay? So you guys are going to start like so. And until first point of first submission, and then you guys switch bottom top. And you guys, I want you guys alternate with the single leg X as well. You worked a lot of cross arch entry last week. I want you guys alternate with the cross grip and single leg X. Okay? The person's gonna have a holding in the pants, and you guys start from here. Alternate both. Okay? To keep you working the single leg X, because a big part of this guard is getting the single leg X. So you're gonna build in attacks from there. Today is more the intro, and you guys start to have a feeling of the position. You guys have any questions before the water break? Yes or no? Bye, water break. 1, 2.